Give the call to the Deputy Leader of the Opposition.
My question is to the Prime Minister. Can the Prime Minister advise the House of the following? What the interest rate was 10 months ago compared to today? How much the average household electricity bill was 10 months ago compared to today? And what the rate of inflation was 10 months ago compared to today? Why do Australian families always pay more under Labor?
Order. The Prime Minister has the call. The Minister for the Environment will cease interjecting.
Well, I almost feel like channeling the member for Melbourne at this point in time. It's got to be said, Mr. Speaker, because the childishness of those opposite just show day after day their incapacity to actually be a genuine alternative government for the country. Because the fact is that inflation is a global phenomenon that has led to an increase in costs, including which began on their watch, with the first of the interest rate increases. And since then, of course, we continue to have the Russian invasion of Ukraine. We continue to have inflationary pressure on the economy. But those opposite have voted against every single measure that's been aimed at providing assistance. They voted against the $1.5 billion in direct bill relief that we put in.
The Prime Minister will pause. The Deputy Leader of the Opposition asked a question about inflation. The Prime Minister is talking about inflation, so I'll give her the call.
Mr. Speaker, I know numbers aren't the Prime Minister's strong suit.
No, resume your seat. Resume your seat. No, I'm going to take action on this. I'm going to take Order. The Deputy Leader of the Opposition has abused standing orders in a most grievous way, and she will leave the chamber under 94A. The Prime Minister will be heard in silence.
It will be a wasted 1 hour for the Deputy Leader because you can't call caucus members against this bloke while they're all in here.
The Prime Minister will return to the question.
So,
Order. Members on my left and right, the Prime Minister will return to the question.
Thanks very much, Mr. Speaker.
Order.
What this government have been doing is taking measures to put downward pressure on inflation. And the member asked a question about inflation some months ago when they were in office. And I'd asked them to give consideration as to whether the March budget that they handed down was inflationary or deflationary. Did it contribute more cash into the economy or less cash into the economy? Did it facilitate higher interest rates or lower interest rates? Because what they did in the lead-up to an election, when they were so desperate, is promise a whole range of measures that all ended in May. Many of the measures that they put in place, ended on June 30 or end next year on June 30. When you look at the measures and what we have to deal with the challenge going forward, measures such as the amazing work being done by Julie Inman-Grant, do we really think that's going to end on June 30 next year? Because that's when the funding ends. Yep. That's the sort of nonsense budget that those opposite put together. That is the nonsense that they put together.
The Prime Minister's time
the fact is,
has concluded. The Prime Minister's time has concluded.